Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive, your daily dose of UPSC Current Affairs.
That's right.
We're diving into the news from the 13th of March, 2025, and oh boy, do we have a lot to cover.
We do.
This is just part one, so make sure you catch part two later today for the rest.
Absolutely.
We'll be tackling everything from tribal protests and a groundbreaking scientific discovery to some topics you might remember from our previous deep dives, so a good chance to revise. But before we forget, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all things current affairs.
Let's get started.
Okay, let's jump right in with the Kuki tribe. They've been in the news recently with protests in Manipur, even leading to clashes with security forces. It's a really complicated situation, but to really understand these protests, I think we need to understand the Kuki people themselves.
You're right. The current unrest is rooted in some long-standing issues, particularly historical disputes over land ownership with neighboring communities, the Nagas and the Meiteis.
Ah, I see.
Their traditional jehom cultivation, where land is cleared for farming and then left to regenerate, well, it clashes with other ways people use the land. That creates this ongoing tension. And these protests, they're really a culmination of the Kuki struggle for recognition and rights over their ancestral lands.
So it's not just about recent events, it's a much deeper historical struggle over land rights.
Exactly. And to make things even more complicated, this struggle is intertwined with the effects of British colonialism. The very term Kuki was actually imposed by the British, grouping various tribes under one label. This categorization, along with the influence of missionary activities and the Kuki Rebellion back in 1917-19, it really disrupted their traditional power structures and their social fabric.
It's fascinating how history shapes today's conflicts, isn't it? The Kuki situation is a really powerful example of that. Okay, let's switch gears to a piece of news that showcases India's growing strength at sea. INS Imphal's visit to Mauritius for their National Day celebration. What's the significance of this visit?
It's a prime example of what we call soft diplomacy. INS Imphal is a Visakhapatnam-class stealth guided missile destroyer. It's a powerful warship, no doubt, but it's also a symbol of India's shipbuilding capabilities and its commitment to a more inclusive navy.
Oh, how so?
Well, it's the first warship to be named after a city in northeast India, Imphal, and it's the first one built to accommodate women officers and sailors.
I see. It's a subtle but powerful way of showing India's image to the world.
Absolutely.
What about the INS Imphal itself? Anything particularly remarkable about its features?
Absolutely. Its crest, for example, features the Kangla Palace and the Kangla Sa, the mythical dragon that protects Manipur. It's this beautiful blend of tradition and military might. And then there's the fact that it's armed with the BrahMos missile, a supersonic cruise missile jointly developed by India and Russia.
Right.
So it really underlines India's focus on that cutting-edge defense technology.
Speaking of cutting-edge technology, let's move on to the Pratibimb module and its impressive track record in fighting cybercrime. Over 6,000 arrests. That's a serious number. Tell me more about how this module works.
It's all about real-time tracking and visualization. Imagine being able to pinpoint a cybercriminal's location just from the mobile number they used during a crime.
Oh.
That's Pratibimb in action. It uses GIS technology to map those mobile numbers onto a digital map.
Oh, okay.
This creates these hotspots that help law enforcement agencies catch these criminals red-handed.
So it's like a digital dragnet zeroing in on these cybercriminals. That's pretty incredible.
It is.
But Pratibimb isn't working alone, right?
Right. It's part of a bigger system. The Sanavaya platform allows for data sharing and analysis between states, which helps connect the dots in these complex cybercrime cases that often cross state lines.
I see.
And then there's the I4C, the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center. It acts as this nerve center for coordinating research, technology development, and international collaboration.
So it sounds like India is taking a multi-pronged approach to this digital threat.
Yes.
Okay. But let's face it, the real world has its own challenges. Air pollution is a big one for India. The World Air Quality Report 2024 puts Delhi as the most polluted capital again. It's disheartening to see this trend continuing.
It is, and the report really highlights the scale of the problem. 13 out of the top 20 most polluted cities globally are in India.
Oh, wow.
And Burnhat, on the border between Assam and Meghalaya, has actually overtaken Delhi.
Really?
It's a wake-up call that pollution isn't just a big city issue anymore.
Absolutely. What's really alarming is that India's average air quality index is 10 times higher than what the WHO recommends. This is a serious public health crisis in making.
Right.
What factors are contributing to this widespread pollution?
Well, it's a complex mix. Industrial emissions and vehicle pollution are major culprits, but then you also have seasonal factors like crop burning and dust storms that play a part.
Right.
And then you've got the geographical and meteorological conditions, especially in the Indo-Gangetic Plains, which trap pollutants, making the problem even worse.
It sounds like a problem that needs a solution with many different parts.
Mm-hmm.
From the air we breathe to the forests that sustain us, let's talk about the recent wildfire in Rajasthan's Sajjangarh Wildlife Sanctuary, a fire covering over 50 hectares. That's a huge loss of biodiversity.
It is.
What can you tell us about this sanctuary and the impact of this fire?
Sajjangarh Wildlife Sanctuary is a beautiful place nestled in the Aravalli Hills. It's home to a wide variety of plants and animals, panthers, hyenas, different kinds of deer. It's a crucial part of Rajasthan's ecosystem.
Right.
This wildfire, it's a stark reminder of how vulnerable our forests are to these disasters. And while investigations are still underway, we can't ignore the role of climate change in increasing the risk of wildfires.
It really makes you think about the delicate balance we need to find between human activity and the environment.
It does.
Okay, let's move on to a natural disaster on a much larger scale.
Sure.
The recent eruption of Fuego Volcano in Guatemala. What makes this volcano so volatile?
Well, Fuego is a stratovolcano. These volcanoes are known for their steep, conical shape, and they have a history of explosive eruptions.
Right.
Fuego happens to be located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, an area known for its frequent volcanic activity. And the eruption back in 2018, that was a tragic reminder of how destructive these volcanoes can be. This recent eruption, though less severe, underscores how important disaster preparedness is in these regions.
It's a reminder of the power of nature shaping our planet.
It is.
Okay, let's go from the fiery depths of volcanoes to the intricate world of human genetics. The recent passing of Luxembourg's Prince Frederick, due to POLG disease, has brought this rare genetic disorder to light. Can you tell us more about POLG disease and its effects on the body?
POLG disease is a complex genetic disorder that disrupts the body's ability to produce energy at the cellular level. It affects the mitochondria, which are like the powerhouses of our cells responsible for turning food into usable energy.
I see.
Mutations in the POLG gene cause these mitochondria to malfunction, leading to a wide range of symptoms, from muscle weakness and vision problems to severe organ dysfunction.
So it's like a fundamental breakdown in the body's energy supply chain.
It is.
What's the outlook for people diagnosed with POLG disease?
Right now, there's no cure. Treatment focuses on managing the symptoms and improving the quality of life for patients. Research is ongoing, and gene therapy shows some promise for the future.
It's definitely a challenging disease. Hopefully, research can offer some better treatment options in the years to come. Let's turn our attention now to legal developments in India. The Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025. This is a big change on the horizon. What's the main goal behind this new bill?
This bill aims to completely overhaul India's immigration laws, replacing 4 colonial-era laws with a single comprehensive framework. It's focused on 2 main things: strengthening national security and streamlining immigration processes. This includes things like stricter regulations for entering and staying in the country, giving more power to immigration officers, and setting up a centralized system for registration and reporting.
It sounds like a major restructuring of the existing system. What are some of the key changes being proposed, and what might the implications be?
One major change is the introduction of a points-based system for visa applications. This is aimed at attracting skilled professionals and investors.
I see.
The bill also proposes setting up a national immigration board to oversee policy and implementation. While the goal is to create a more efficient and secure system, there are concerns about potential misuse of power and the impact on people traveling legitimately.
It will be interesting to see how this new bill is implemented and how it affects everyone involved. Let's shift our focus now to geopolitics and the recent joint naval drills conducted by Iran, Russia, and China in the Gulf of Oman. What makes this a significant development? What are the potential implications for the region?
The Gulf of Oman is a strategically vital waterway. It connects the Strait of Hormuz to the Arabian Sea. It's a major route for oil tankers, and any disruption there would have global economic consequences. These joint naval drills, which they're calling a Marine Security Belt 2025, show a growing strategic alignment between these 3 countries.
And how do you see this impacting the balance of power in the region, especially with the ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran?
It can be seen as a direct challenge to U.S. influence in the region. It also presents a united front against what they see as Western interventionism. This has the potential to make the already complex geopolitical situation in the region even more so.
It's definitely something that needs close attention because it could have major implications for global security and energy markets. Okay, for our final deep dive in this segment, let's turn to a groundbreaking scientific discovery: the confirmation of Plastic Ice VII. What's so
Yes.
special about this force form of water?
Imagine ice, but it's not hard and brittle. It flows and deforms like plastic. That's Plastic Ice VII. It exists under immense pressure, thousands of times greater than what we experience here on Earth's surface. Scientists have confirmed its existence using advanced techniques like neutron scattering, revealing its unique molecular structure.
That's wild. Ice acting like plastic. Why is this discovery so significant? Why should our UPSC aspirants be interested in the ice on faraway moons?
This discovery challenges our understanding of water, something we thought we knew so well. It has huge implications for planetary science, particularly when we think about the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Imagine vast oceans of this exotic ice hidden beneath their surfaces, possibly even harboring life as we don't know it.
That's incredible. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities for understanding the potential for life beyond our planet.
Absolutely. And this discovery wasn't just by chance. They used cutting-edge techniques like neutron scattering. Scientists basically bombarded tiny water samples with neutrons to study their structure at the atomic level.
It's amazing how these advanced techniques allow us to explore the hidden workings of the universe.
It is.
Okay, that brings us to the end of part 1 of our March 13th deep dive. From tribal protests in Manipur to this revolutionary discovery in material science, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have, and we're back for part 2 of our deep dive into the 13th of March 2025 current affairs.
We've already covered some pretty intense topics, from tribal unrest and wildfires to some really groundbreaking scientific discoveries.
Yeah, we have, but there's still a lot more to explore.
Definitely.
Let's revisit a few of those topics and see if we can extract some key insights that are especially relevant for those UPSC aspirants out there.
Sounds good to me. Let's start with the Kuki tribe protests. What are the historical and socio-political factors that an aspiring civil servant should be aware of?
Well, the Kuki issue is a great example of how complex things can be when you talk about tribal identity, land rights, and the legacy of colonialism in India. The protests, you see, they're not just some spontaneous outburst. They're a manifestation of some deeply rooted grievances and a struggle for self-determination.
Right.
And then you have the demand for a separate Kuki state within Manipur, which adds another layer of complexity to the whole thing. UPSC aspirants really need to dig into the historical context, the socioeconomic challenges that the Kuki community faces, and the different perspectives involved in this conflict.
It just goes to show how important it is to understand the nuances of India's diverse communities and the unique challenges they face. It's crucial for effective governance.
It is.
Okay, let's move on to the Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025. How does this new legislation reflect India's changing approach to immigration?
Yeah. Well, this bill signals a pretty clear shift towards a more centralized and security-focused approach to immigration. The points-based system for visas that's meant to attract talent and investment, while those stricter regulations are aimed at curbing illegal immigration and boosting national security. It really reflects India's growing economic and geopolitical aspirations and its need to balance openness with security concerns.
It's interesting to see how legislation can be a window into a nation's priorities and how its role in the world is changing.
It is.
Now, for a question that might pop up on the UPSC exam, how does the recent trilateral naval exercise in the Gulf of Oman impact India's strategic interests?
That's a great question. India has a lot at stake in the Gulf of Oman. It's a vital energy corridor, a gateway to West Asia. And you have this joint exercise by Iran, Russia, and China, which presents a bit of a challenge to the existing regional security setup, which has been largely dominated by the U.S. and those allies. India needs to carefully navigate this evolving geopolitical landscape, maintain its strategic autonomy, while engaging with all the different players.
It's a classic example of real politics in action.
Definitely.
Okay, let's switch gears for a moment. Something a bit lighter. INS Imphal's diplomatic voyage to Mauritius. Beyond the symbolism, what technological advancements does this warship represent?
INS Imphal is a testament to how far India has come in designing and building its own warships.
Right?
It uses stealth technology, it's armed with advanced weapons like the BrahMos missile, and it's equipped with the latest sensors and communication systems. And the fact that it accommodates women officers and sailors, that highlights the Navy's commitment to inclusivity.
Yes.
This combination of technological prowess and social progress really reflects India's ambitions as a rising power at sea.
It's good to see these kinds of advancements, especially in a field as crucial as defense.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's shift our focus back to internal security for a bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about cybercrime and the role of the Pratibimb module in fighting it. What's the significance of this technology for India's overall cybersecurity strategy?
Well, the Pratibimb module showcases India's efforts to use technology to tackle this growing threat of cybercrime. Its real-time tracking and visualization capabilities, along with the data sharing made possible by the Samanvaya platform, it's a huge step toward creating a more secure cyberspace.
I see.
And for UPSC aspirants, understanding the technological aspects of cybersecurity, the legal framework, and the mechanisms for international cooperation, all of that is absolutely crucial.
It reminds us that even in the digital world, strong law enforcement and international collaboration are key to maintaining security.
Absolutely.
Speaking of challenges that require a global response, let's talk about air pollution. Even with all the various initiatives, India is still struggling with poor air quality. What are some of the key takeaways from the World Air Quality Report 2024 for both policymakers and citizens?
The report is a stark reminder that air pollution is a real public health emergency in India. It really highlights the need for stricter emission standards, better urban planning, and a shift towards cleaner energy sources. And the fact that smaller towns like Burnahat are now among the most polluted cities just shows that we need a more comprehensive and decentralized approach to pollution control.
It's a complex issue that needs a multi-pronged strategy involving government policies, technological innovation, and people changing their behavior.
Definitely.
Okay, let's talk about another environmental challenge. Wildfires. The recent incident at the Sajjangarh Wildlife Sanctuary is a real wake-up call. What can we learn from this event, particularly when we consider the effects of climate change?
Yeah, that wildfire really highlights how vulnerable India's forests are becoming due to climate change. Rising temperatures, longer dry spells, and changes in wind patterns, all of that creates the perfect conditions for these wildfires to start and spread. We need to prioritize better forest management practices. Things like reducing fuel loads, improving early warning systems, and making sure communities are prepared. That's how we can mitigate the risks.
It's a reminder that climate change adaptation strategies are essential if we want to protect our natural heritage.
Definitely.
Okay, for our final topic in this segment, let's talk about POLG disease. It might be a rare genetic disorder, but it raises some important questions about healthcare and research priorities. What are some key takeaways for those aspiring civil servants?
PLG disease really highlights the need for more awareness and research funding for these rare diseases. It also underscores how important it is to have accessible and affordable healthcare for everyone, regardless of how rare their condition might be.
Right.
For UPSC aspirants, understanding the challenges of healthcare delivery, especially for marginalized communities and those with rare diseases, that's crucial if you want to shape effective public health policies.
It's a reminder that even these rare diseases can have a big impact on individuals and families, and addressing them requires a compassionate and inclusive approach to healthcare.
It does.
Okay, that wraps up part 2 of our deep dive. We've covered a lot, but there's still more to come.
Right. Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll delve into the fascinating world of plastic ice and what it means for our understanding of the universe.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the March 13th, 2025 current affairs.
Yeah.
We've really covered a lot of ground, from the dynamics of tribal communities to navigating the intricacies of global politics, and we've even touched upon some truly groundbreaking advancements in technology and science.
And now we're going to explore something truly extraordinary. Plastic Ice VII.
Yes, we briefly mentioned it earlier, but let's dive a bit deeper, shall we? What makes this so-called fourth form of water so remarkable?
Okay, so think about regular ice. It's hard, brittle, with a fixed crystalline structure.
Yeah.
But Plastic Ice VII, well, that exists under immense pressure. The kind of pressure you'd find deep within planets or those icy moons. This pressure forces the water molecules to arrange themselves in a completely different way. It allows them to rotate freely within the crystal lattice, which gives it this malleable, almost plastic-like quality.
So it's still ice, but with a completely different structure and behavior. But why is this discovery so significant? Why should our UPSC aspirants care about ice on, faraway moons?
Because this discovery challenges our very understanding of water. Something we thought we knew so well. It has huge implications for planetary science, especially when we think about those icy moons, like Jupiter's Ganymede and Saturn's Titan. Just imagine vast oceans of this exotic ice hidden beneath their surfaces, possibly even harboring life as we don't know it.
It's a mind-boggling thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really opens up a whole new realm of possibilities for understanding the potential for life beyond Earth.
It does. And it's important to remember that this discovery wasn't just a stroke of luck. It involved some truly cutting-edge techniques like neutron scattering. Scientists were basically bombarding tiny water samples with neutrons to study their structure at an atomic level.
It's amazing what these advanced techniques allow us to do, to peek into the hidden workings of the universe. And that brings us to the end of our March 13th deep dive. From tribal protests in Manipur to this revolutionary discovery in material science, we've explored the complexities of geopolitics, delved into the challenges of cybercrime and environmental degradation, and even journeyed to the icy moons of our solar system. But remember, folks, this is just a starting point. Keep digging, keep researching, keep forming your own informed opinions. To those UPSC aspirants out there, we hope this has given you some valuable insights and some potential areas to explore further. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of current affairs. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.